Welcome to today's video, where we explore the fascinating story of the 1967 Australian 10-cent coin, a remarkable piece of history that continues to capture the imagination of collectors and history lovers alike. The 1967 10-cent coin holds a special place in Australian numismatics because it was among the first decimal coins issued after the introduction of the new currency system in 1966. By this time, Australians were still adjusting to the big change from pounds, shillings, and pence to dollars and cents. When you hold a circulated example of the 1967 10-cent coin in your hand, you're not just looking at money. You're holding a piece of the early years of modern Australian currency. Its surface, worn and softened from decades of use, tells a story of everyday life. The reverse of this coin features the iconic lyrebird, designed by Stuart Devlin. Known for his creative brilliance, Devlin was tasked with bringing Australia's wildlife to the forefront of its new coinage, and the lyrebird was a perfect choice for the 10-cent denomination. Even in circulated condition, where scratches and wear are present, the flowing tail feathers of the lyrebird remain elegant and easily recognizable. The beauty of this design ensures that the coin retains its appeal even after more than half a century. On the obverse of the coin is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Arnold Machin. This was the second portrait of the Queen used on Australian coins, and it depicts her youthful profile wearing a tiara. With circulation wear, the finer details of the Queen's hair and crown may fade, but the overall image still reflects the authority and dignity associated with her reign. This portrait would be familiar to Australians throughout the late 1960s and beyond. The circulated condition of this coin adds character rather than diminishing its importance. Every mark, scratch, or dulled surface is evidence of its journey through countless transactions. Think of how many hands may have held this coin since 1967. It could have been exchanged for groceries, school lunches, tram rides, or countless small purchases over decades of use. The year 1967 itself was a period of transformation in Australia. Decimal currency had been introduced only the year before, and coins like this helped solidify the system into the daily lives of ordinary people. This 10-cent coin, though small in denomination, carried big significance. It represented modern Australia stepping away from colonial-era money and moving into a more globalized economy. Collectors often treasure the 1967 10-cent coin not because it is rare, but because it symbolizes the early days of decimalization. It is a starting point for anyone wanting to build a collection of modern Australian coinage. The nickel composition of the coin gives it durability. Even after decades in circulation, many 1967 10-cent coins survive in decent condition, though their surfaces are often marked by the passing of time. What makes circulated coins so special is their ability to carry stories. Each one is unique, reflecting its own history of wear, usage, and even accidental damage. Some circulated coins develop natural toning, with subtle shades of gray, brown, or even blue, depending on how they were stored or used. These variations add individuality to every single piece. The lyrebird itself is a fitting symbol of resilience. Just as the bird is known for its ability to mimic and adapt, the coin bearing its image has adapted to the passage of time and remains recognizable today. While mint-condition coins show us the artistry of the original design, circulated coins remind us of the human connection. They were part of people's daily lives, not just preserved in cases. The circulated 1967 10-cent coin is a tangible reminder of the lives and routines of Australians in the late 1960s and early 1970s. It links us to everyday people who used it without thinking twice about its future historical value. This kind of coin also helps collectors appreciate the difference between pristine and circulated condition. Both have value, but circulated coins carry more emotional weight. The Queen's portrait and the lyrebird design have both endured across the decades, making them iconic elements of Australian coinage. This continuity is part of what makes collecting so rewarding. For new collectors, the 1967 10-cent coin is a perfect entry point. It's affordable, common, yet full of historical context and design appeal. For seasoned collectors, it's a coin that represents the foundation of modern Australian numismatics. It may not be rare, but it is always significant. Every circulated coin can be seen as a piece of living history. The 1967 issue in particular speaks to a time when Australians were embracing change and modernization. The wear on the coin also creates a sense of mystery. Where has it traveled? How many pockets, purses, or cash registers has it passed through in its life? Coins like this are humble in appearance but rich in meaning. They bridge the gap between economics, history, and art in a way few objects can. The 1967 Australian 10-cent coin in circulated condition is more than currency. It is a symbol of national progress, cultural pride, and the endurance of everyday objects across time. As we admire this coin today, we are reminded that sometimes the smallest pieces of metal carry the greatest stories. And that is why the 1967 10-cent coin, even in worn condition, continues to be celebrated and cherished by collectors and history enthusiasts worldwide. The 1967 Australian 10-cent coin stands as a witness to a nation's transformation. It is not only a tool of commerce but also a canvas for identity, history, and artistry. When people first saw this coin in their change, they were likely struck by the fresh design. Gone were the old pre-decimal motifs, replaced by clean modern imagery that spoke to Australia's uniqueness. The lyrebird, with its sweeping feathers, was a bold statement. It represented not only nature's wonder but also a distinctly Australian symbol that could not be confused with any other country's coinage. Even after decades of circulation, the lyrebird retains its grace. The long tail, although often smoothed by wear, still conveys a sense of movement and elegance. Stuart Devlin's genius was in creating designs that could withstand circulation yet remain beautiful. The 1967 10-cent coin demonstrates this balance perfectly. Collectors often marvel at how coins age differently. Some 1967 10-cent coins are deeply worn, while others show surprising sharpness even after years of use. The differences are due to how heavily the coins circulated, how they were stored, and even the environments they were exposed to. Each coin is therefore one of a kind. When you hold a circulated 1967 coin, you're holding history that has passed through countless lives. Each scratch and ding is part of a story that spans more than 50 years. Think of the people who may have used it in 1967, a time when Australia was still defining its identity in the modern world. The introduction of decimal currency in 1966 was one of the most significant changes in the nation's financial history. Coins like this helped Australians make the adjustment. By 1967, people had grown more comfortable with the system, and coins such as the 10-cent piece became staples of everyday transactions. The circulated condition of these coins reflects that period of busy use. They weren't saved or hoarded. They were practical, hard-working coins. This makes them all the more interesting for collectors. They are not pristine museum pieces but lived-in objects that connect us directly to daily life. The obverse design with Queen Elizabeth II ties Australia to the Commonwealth. Her youthful portrait was a reminder of tradition amid a time of change. The portrait, even when worn, still captures her likeness with dignity. It is a fitting symbol for a coin that was both new and deeply rooted in heritage. For Australians, these coins would have become instantly recognizable. For many, the sound of 10-cent coins jingling in pockets became part of everyday life. The size and feel of the coin gave it a presence beyond its small value. Its weight and metallic ring made it distinct from the other denominations. As the years passed, the 1967 issue became the first in a long line of 10-cent coins still used today. That continuity makes it a milestone. Collectors often look at the 1967 issue as the starting chapter in the story of the 10-cent denomination. It is a cornerstone of modern Australian numismatics. The coin's durability is remarkable. Even with circulation wear, it remains identifiable and functional, a testament to the quality of its design and production. This durability ensures that many of these coins survive today, though each one shows its own degree of wear and individuality. In circulated condition, the coin is approachable for all collectors. It is not expensive or rare, but its historical importance makes it meaningful. Coins like this highlight the idea that value is not only financial. A circulated 1967 10-cent coin may not be rare, but its story is priceless. Holding one can spark curiosity. Where did it travel? How many people used it before it ended up in your hands? The possibilities are endless, and that mystery is part of what makes collecting so rewarding. Each mark and worn edge represents moments in time, transactions long forgotten but forever imprinted on the coin's surface. Some coins even have particular wear patterns, where the queen's face is more worn than the lyrebird, or vice versa, depending on how they were handled. This variety keeps collectors fascinated, as no two circulated coins are exactly alike. The 1967 coin also represents an era when Australia was taking bold steps forward. It was a nation modernizing, yet still proud of its natural heritage. By placing the lyrebird on the coin, the designers ensured that wildlife remained central to the country's cultural expression. This decision resonates to this day. Modern collectors still appreciate how early decimal coins celebrated Australia's distinct environment. Even in circulated condition, the lyrebird remains a striking reminder of Australia's unique place in the world. The 10-cent coin may seem small, but it carried enormous symbolism. It was a coin of transition, heritage, and national pride. Collectors who hold one today are not just looking at an object but touching a chapter of Australian history that is still alive in metal form. The 1967 10-cent coin in circulated condition continues to be cherished. It tells us that even everyday items, when preserved, can reveal extraordinary stories. That is the true magic of coins like this. They prove that history lives on not just in books but in the objects we use, carry, and sometimes forget.